Now, hi everybody, is anybody out there? Apologies for me being late. Hi Biofield with Neve. Hi everybody. This is my first time on Instagram Live and I'm stumbling across trying to put things live. Hi everybody, amazing to have you all here. So many people coming up. Hi. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for your patience with me. Can you all hear me okay? I'm supposed to put a comment, self-care, and then pin. Let me see. No, that didn't work. Okay, I'm doing my best here. All right, happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome to our live session this Sunday, or Tuesday, on behalf of the National Campaign for Mental Support, facilitated by the amazing Ministry, the National Programme for Happiness and Wellbeing, coming together for us all to support each other during this time, to come together as a community. So I'm here today and we're going to talk about self-care, but first, just a little background on Darkness into Light, if you're not familiar with us. Darkness into Light, we are a community mental health initiative made up completely of volunteers. We're very simple people with a passion for making a difference in our community. We are all employed either in full-time paid positions or employed as parents, but we give our time to help spread awareness about mental health and to also offer accessible, free and competent support services from a community recovery perspective, i.e. bringing in so many amazing professionals from the healing professionals, whether it be psychotherapist, Reiki healer, shaman, psychologist, so many different people from ancient wisdom, from modern science, who've got so many skills here in the UAE that are all coming together to offer these services to help you in the community. So if you aren't following us already, we are Darkness into Light Abu Dhabi on Insta, on Facebook. Hi everybody, hi. This is so weird, I cannot hear anything. I think I'm so used to Zoom calls and at least having other people talk to me. Hi Mary. Also, we have Darkness into Light moderating as well here. You're going to notice them with the Darkness into Light AD tag and the DIL symbol there on the left. So that's Maria. She's going to help me with the comments. There's a lot of us here, so apologies in advance. Hi Liz, apologies in advance if I don't read your comment, but I'll do my best to get to as much as possible. However, if there's a nugget of information that you really want that I didn't give you, please just come over to Darkness into Light on Insta and message me there privately, and I'll do the best that I can for you, okay? So, all right, self-care. Does anybody want to give me their perspective? My phone's just gone off. Let me put it on silent. I've had my phone on silent for 5 years. That has been an amazing self-care practice for me. And I only ever turn it off silent when I know I'm expecting a call for work. And that's why it was on there today. But anyways, okay, anyone want to share their self-care practice? What is their definition of self-care? What does it mean for them? Throw it in the comments. Please share your perspective. This is a platform of collaboration. This is a platform where we're all going to share our own unique perspective. We're all going to maybe drop a tip, a comment, a strategy that has helped you, and by dropping it into the comment section, other people will read it and your comment may inspire them or provoke them or support them with something in their own lives. So please share. It's so valuable, even if you feel that it's not. So self-care, so simple yet so misunderstood. Self-care is me taking responsibility for my health, welfare and protection. Simple. And what's next? How is it that me looking after my health, welfare and protection is so difficult for me to do? So to answer that question, we gotta backtrack a little bit and get to know who am I and what am I. And by knowing who I am and what I am, it equips me with the fundamentals to be able to regulate myself and manage myself to give me the most optimal outcome in the aspects of life that I find important to me. I'm just reading the comments there. Actually, no, I'm not. Maria, when the comments are coming up for specific questions, can you respond with the answer that's relatable to that specific question? And I can then just kind of keep on track with the story that I'm sharing. Thank you so much, because there's a comment there from Dr. Hamoudi and a few others. Maria will help you with that, guys. Thank you so much. So to be able to, as I say, regulate, control and manage my self-care, I must first understand a little bit more about myself. So coming from a community recovery approach and looking at the whole aspect of the human experience, I must first understand and accept that I am energy in this vehicle. Now, some people will call that energy spirit, soul, quantum particles, life force energy. It doesn't matter. It's all just different language describing the same phenomena. So for my ease and simplification from here on out, I'm just going to call it that it's a spirit in the human body. And now that I'm here as Lora on Earth, I have a one-time life experience. I've been born, I'm going to die, and in between is the story of my life, and I get to be the author and create day by day by day by day. So for me to be creating and manifesting and becoming satisfied with what I'm creating, this is where I need to go to looking at, okay, what is this human experience? What is happening for me that I need to learn and therefore manage? So again, to simplify, you can break it down to 4 categories of the human experience. Those 4 categories are the psychological, the physical, the emotional, the spiritual. And I'm going to touch on those a little bit just to give you an understanding of the context and the frame of reference I'm using to describe them. Now, for sure, there are more categories, there are more elements. It just depends on what model you're coming from. But again, just to kind of keep things simple because we have a time limitation, this is what I have for you, party people. So the psychological aspect, the focus with this, let me keep it compartment actually, because I don't want to be confusing you with my words. So for this compartment, the psychological, the focus that I want to bring your attention to is the language. What is the type of language that is dominant in your inner talk, also known as self-talk, inner dialogue? It's that voice inside of your head every day. What is the dominant thoughts? Is it positive or is it negative? Ideally, when we grow and develop, we want to be working from a neutral self-dialogue. But I'm just going to work off the base that we're all kind of novice and new here. So what is the quality of your self-talk like? Hold on, something's coming up. Hold on one sec. Oh, excuse me. Out into the universe. Okay, thank you. I'm back. So here you're looking to audit the quality of your self-talk by observing what are the repeated thoughts, what are the patterns, and specifically the NATs, the negative automatic thoughts, the repeated negative thoughts. For example, I'm useless, I'm not good enough, everyone is better than me, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I want to die. These kind of thoughts that are coming in, how often are they coming in? Because remember, your thoughts are creating your reality. So the quality of your life is going to be very dependent on the quality of your thoughts. Also, another really good way of measuring how you're talking to yourself is with a friend. If a friend made a mistake, what would be your automatic response? It would be one of compassion and kindness and reassurance, and you would say, hey babes, my friend, you've made a mistake, it's okay, you've done the best with the knowledge you had, everything happens for a reason, mistakes are an opportunity to grow, It doesn't define you as a person. Behavior and you are two separate things, yada, 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 lots of love. Now, in contrast, if you make a mistake, what's your automatic response then? Are you bringing over that same compassion? Or are you actually, and here's the key question from this part, are you treating yourself like your worst enemy? Or are you treating yourself like your best friend? And how you speak to yourself will determine the answer to that question. So that's kind of the psychological component that I want to focus on there. Done. Okay, so the next component is the physical component, and this is recognizing I am in this body. Look at this. Look at this baby. This is incredible. This is trillions of cells working on a quantum level, working up then to Newtonian physics, chemistry, biology. It is a moving technology. This is incredible. Now, this is my home. How am I looking after it? It needs movement, and this is the key focus for this category. Movement is key. We are in isolation, which means the likelihood that we are sedentary is high. Okay, and if we're really being honest with ourselves, even before isolation, we were probably more inactive than active. But hallelujah, no judgment here, just bringing up some information to learn from. So we're back to isolation. What is your movement like? This body needs movement. It doesn't have to be exercise per se in terms of local muscular endurance like lifting heavy weights. It doesn't have to be in terms of cardiovascular exercise either. It's just movement. This body needs to move. So over the course of your day, how much movement are you giving yourself? Therefore, over the course of a week or a month, it's all adding up to either you're giving yourself a lot of movement or very little movement. Okay. Also physically, that would include what you ingest. Is it more junk or food? What kind of supplements are you taking, if any? Your sleep, all the good stuff in the physical body compartment. Done. Okay. Next, we have the emotional compartment. Now, emotion is the energy that drives behavior. How do we know this? Have you ever seen somebody who's angry? That anger is fueling behavior, especially in communication. When the tone of voice raises, swear words increase, threatening behavior, verbally or physically increase, the person is not how they would usually be. Or also another example, you know, we get we get sad and all of a sudden, boom, we are eating our feelings, chop suey, get in there. And also, some people will undereat emotional eating or overeat emotional eating. So they are just two very clear examples of how our emotions fuel our behavior. So the key question for this component is, or compartment, can't remember what word I decided on, let's go with compartment. The key question for the emotional compartment is, am I emotionally unstable right now? Very easy. And of course that is to different degrees. Okay, but that is the key question. And then the last compartment, those two are very similar words. I'm going to go with compartment. That doesn't sound right. Okay, I have to let it go. The last part of this model is a spiritual model. And this is simply, how connected am I to my higher self? My true consciousness. How connected am I to that? And how connected am I to the world around me? You know, all the intelligence, all the creation, all the beautiful things that I see, how am I created? Or not how am I created, that's a whole other story. But how much am I connected to it, okay? So to wrap up, you've got your psychological, your physical, your emotional, and your spiritual components all coming together to make this human experience for me, Laura. Now, all of those components will have their own individual needs, and of course, sometimes these needs overlap. Okay? If you are on top of your self-care, you are meeting your needs, so therefore, your entire essence is in a state of harmony. And this is optimal living. We want to be in harmony. That is what we are all striving for. However, if you have been lacking in your self-care practice, then your needs aren't being met. And the longer your needs aren't being met, the more likely it is that you are going to create a lack or a void, or an open wound is going to become toxic, either physically, psychologically, mentally, etc. Bottom line is you become in a state of dis-ease. Okay? So we want to avoid a state of dis-ease as our number one preference. However, because of our life and conditioning and unhealed wounds, most of us are operating from a state of dis-ease to varying degrees. And that is where the self-care comes in. Self-care is my responsibility for my health, welfare and safety, and it's deliberate. It is intentional. It is done with purpose, knowing that I have a part of me that is holding me back, or a part of me that I need to repair, or a part of me that I need to enhance, and it's up to me to do it. And it's my choice how I do it. Okay? It's too overwhelming. We love you. Oh, Liz, thank you. Hi. It's too overwhelming. Yes, look, self-care is tough. Healing is arguably one of the most difficult processes that you will have to do. The human experience. It's incredible to be alive. However, part of the human experience is to suffer. That is a law of polarity. It's one of the universal laws that we cannot escape from, whether we like it or not. I'm not going to go into the law, but it's the idea of dark night, calm, chaos, being in love, being out of love. There's always where everything is changing. And for people who are finding self-care and looking after themselves difficult, I am with you. You have my deepest empathy. You're not alone. We are all going through some form of struggle to a varying degree. But this is where you got to dig deep and don't give up. Whatever it is, just don't give up. And then from there, whatever your first step, whatever your next step is, then do it. The next step could be that you reach out to somebody. It could be that you reach out to Darkness into Light. It could be that you reach out to the National Campaign Mental Health Services. I know that they have a teleservice, a hotline maybe. Reach out to somebody is a first step, and that was specifically for that person that said they were being overwhelmed. Peace and love. Hallelujah, sister. Don't give up. You are not alone. You are not alone. And remember, everybody is being affected by something in their own way. The external stimulus will look different. Somebody might be in a real luxurious villa surrounded by 20 family members, and somebody else could be in an apartment on Ream Island and the windows don't open, they have no fresh air, and they live by themselves. This person here in luxury, surrounded by loads of people, this person over here by themselves, they may still be feeling lonely. Their external stimulus is different, but how that stimulus is making them feel inside can be the same thing. And this is, again, I guess I'm kind of going off left field here, but I think this is really, really important, because I often see so much judgment and kind of so much misunderstanding of people, and it's never about what people have in their external environment. It's never about that. It's how is that person feeling internally. Okay, job done. Okay, so for self-care. So if we're going to audit our self-care, okay, how do we audit our self-care? Very, very, very simply. We sit down with ourselves. Step one, I'm going to take ownership of my own BS, I'm going to talk to myself in a truthful, honest way. That is step one. And that is so difficult. To give yourself permission to allow your big questions to come to the surface takes so much courage. It takes so much courage because we have for years been denying or avoiding or distracting ourselves or suppressing or repressing. So to actually sit down and go, okay, right, I am ready to commit to my self-care. Step one, I got to take ownership and have an authentic, truthful chat. Okay? And that leads into step two. Step two then is, okay, now I'm going to write down things that are important to me where I can enhance them. No, actually, I don't want to say that just yet. Step two is looking at the model, and psychological, emotional, spiritual, and physical, and writing out in that model, from that model's perspective, what is working for me right now? What am I doing that is enhancing my self-care or sustaining my self-care? And I'm really going off track. I don't like that either. Let me see. Okay, let me go back. I want to bring in another perspective because I think this will be more clear and more simplified for you guys. I'm just weary that I don't know where your level is at, and I just want to make sure that I'm giving you value that you can take something away from. So this is a technique from mindfulness, and it will help you audit your self-care. Now, this is contextualized to the fact that you are in self-isolation, okay? So how you engage with the same things over and over and over is going to determine your ability to be sane during this time. What do I mean by that? So using this particular technique is I want you to write down all the things you do during the day from the moment you open your eyes to the moment you're about to close your eyes, go to sleep. So every single aspect. So for me, an example of my day, I open my eyes, I say a prayer, I roll over, I open my laptop, I do maybe 2 hours of work, then I'll get up, go to the bathroom, do my bathroom routine, breakfast, yada, 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 yada. Okay? Now that I've got a list, now you have to be very specific. Okay? You've got to be very specific. Now that I've got that list, I'm going to look at that list and I'm going to ask myself, what during my day is depleting me? And I'm going to write a little minus beside it. And then I'm going to look again and I'm going to ask myself, what during this day is enhancing for me or adding to my day? And I'm going to put a little plus beside that. And then I'm going to say, what during my day is neutral? It's neither depleting nor enhancing. It's just, And I'm just going to put a dash beside that. Done. Okay, now that I've that done, the next step is to go to the parts that are depleting and be really creative to enhance them, to shift them, bearing in mind you're in self-isolation. So these things are unavoidable. You've got to do them. They're part of your day. So we've accepted that with peace and love and as much humility as we can muster, but we still recognize, I've got to do the laundry every day. I've got to make the 6th snack and the 4 dinners everybody in this house always eating. I have to take numerous amounts of Zoom meetings. I have to teach my child another language or help them with their study, whatever it is. So all of these might be examples of things that are depleting your energy. So if they are, those are where you have to focus, and you got to shift to how do I change that to enhance it? Because the more I'm enhancing it, the more I'm actually able to engage in it in a healthier way. So, you know, someone might say, okay, I'd like to meditate. No, that's a different point exactly. So is there anyone there who is still with me on this and they want to give an example of something that's depleting them? Let me see. Okay, so an example of something that might be depleting you is you always have to wash the floor. Okay, how do I shift that to enhance it a little bit? Okay, for me, straight away, I'm going to wash the floor, but I'm going to stick on a podcast. I'm going to stick on some motivating music. I'm going to stick on some healing music. Or that's the time I'm going to schedule a family call or a friend call. So at least when I am doing the washing the floor, I've enhanced it in a way that is of benefit to me. Excuse me. So this is a very simple practice, and just for anyone who's just jumping in, the summary is make a list of everything that make a list of everything that you are doing during the day, and then you audit it by asking yourself which item on this list depletes me, which enhances me, and which is neutral. When the list is finished, you go back to the part that's depleting you, and you have to dig deep, party people. Okay, this is where you have to dig deep and be creative, and as much as you can, enhance it just a little bit. It might be that you spend 5 extra minutes in the bath. It might be that you add 1 minute of meditation when you wake up in the morning. Okay, if you're someone who's praying during the day, that's when you can add another minute after prayers or 2 minutes after prayers to maybe do a gratitude practice, maybe just to sit still, maybe to set your intention for the rest of the day. It can be anything. So best of luck. Best of luck with it. And anyone can do it. And it's your responsibility, because self-care is your responsibility. Self-care, time for ourselves. Yes, that is time for ourselves is something that is really, really important. A lot of people find it difficult to create time for themselves because they are juggling so many roles and responsibilities. And for those people who are, this is again where you've got to dig deep, because there is time. Okay, there is time, and it might only be 30 seconds to start with, but start with that 30 seconds, build momentum, build rhythm. And it might be 30 seconds one day, nothing the next day, 30 seconds the day after. That's fine. But here's the thing. You can't expect changes if you don't make a change. What do you mean by depleting me? In what sense? Depleting energy. So we are energetic beings, okay? So if you're doing something at home that you have resistance to, that you're like, oh, I really don't want to do this. For example, I really don't want to have to wash the floor. I really don't want to sit down and do 3 more lessons with my children. I really don't want to watch yet another action movie that my husband loves. That was so gender stereotypical right there, but I said it, okay? So these are the things where they can be very micro things. They don't have to be big in your face things, but they're just things during your daily day where you're like, ugh. The moment you have that reaction, that's a discharge of energy. That you don't want to do. You want to keep that energy. And one way to keep that energy is to recognize what's depleting you and find a new way of engaging with it so you're not wasting that energy. And then the outcome of that is, because you're not wasting that energy, you're now keeping that energy, and you're able to discharge that energy in another way, or just kind of keep it for yourself as you wish. Okay, so what else do we have? I guess, you know, a lot of the self-care, I'll be selfish then. Okay, now, look, party people. Selfish and self-care are two of the most misunderstood words on the planet. It's so different, so different. Selfish is when I have no regard for other people and I lack empathy and I put myself in front of others, knowing irrelevant of how that affects people. That is selfish. For example, that could be me. I'm hanging out with my friends and they're all starving. They haven't eaten for days and I'm there with a big bag of chips and a burger. Me knowing that they're starving and I continue to eat, that is no disregard for them. That is no empathy for them. That you could correlate to selfish. However, if I shared some of my chips, but I might keep my burger all for myself, that is empathetic, okay? Self-care is simply recognizing that I am responsible for my health, welfare and protection. And yes, I want to help others, but if I am helping others and I am suffering because of it, then I've crossed a line into self-abuse. And that is where so many people get stuck. They're stuck in this kind of self-abusive cycle, thinking that they're helping others, but they're actually not. So I don't know if that kind of answered that question there, but at least it's putting a new perspective on maybe the differences. And remember, look, you deserve the love that you are giving everybody else. You have to step into your self-honoring, your self-respect, to recognize, okay, me, Laura, I'm responsible for my health, welfare and protection. And if I'm using the model of fulfilling my needs psychologically, emotionally, spiritually and emotionally, then I'm in balance. When I'm in balance, guess what? I'm a nice person to be around. I am a supportive person. I am an empathetic person. I can hold and maintain healthy relationships. I can be calm. I don't lose my anger. I am more giving. I am more grateful. I am more optimistic. I am the best version of myself, and therefore the quality of my presence becomes a present. And everybody around can entangle in that goodness. That is the outcome of self-care. Now, what is the contrast? The contrast is so easy to see. When I am not fulfilling my needs, my energy goes from here to here. When I am not fulfilling my needs, I am more irritable. I am complaining more. I have a need to be right. I am raising my voice. I am intolerant. I am self-critical. And remember, bringing it back to the negative self-talk, what's inside, therefore I will project outside. So now my self-talk is hurtful to other people. That is the type of, and therefore the quality of my presence, nobody wants to be around. Because who wants to be around that? So this is why it's so important to start opening up your mind to the power that you have by looking after yourself in a way that recharges you and nourishes your soul. Because ultimately, you know, because there's so many people, and maybe there's a lot of parents here, I don't know, but we all have so many responsibilities and so many roles in life. You know, you might be caring, a primary carer for someone who's sick. You might be a parent. You may not be a parent. You're just trying to figure out your relationship with yourself. You know, you may be working in an environment where you're responsible for loads of people. So, etc. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And the idea that you can give to others what you can't give yourself. Delusion, and you know this. You know this. So if nothing else, let this global pandemic bring us the opportunity to sit with ourselves and have this truthful conversation that I was talking about before. And, you know, extend that truthful conversation to trusted family members, friends, people that you love and trust, and sit down and go, yo, I was on Happy UAE on Tuesday, and there was this girl from Darkness into Light, and she was talking about uncomfortable truths, and me having to talk about things that I'm trying to work with, and have these conversations with people. Because you know what, you will discover everyone that you're talking to, if they're coming from an open, heart-centered place and not an ego, they will share that they're feeling the same things too. It might be different degrees, but they will empathize. You know, we have all had such a varied, unique life experience, but we all have gained so much wisdom, so much knowledge. We all as well have secrets and shame and guilt, and a need for inner soul connection, and a need to be able to master the mind chatter and regulate our emotional instability and all of that other stuff. And the more we actually have conversations about this, the more you'll discover that you're not on your own, that you have much more support than you thought you did. And together we can support each other and motivate each other and inspire each other, because there is room for all our houses. The time for competition is over. That is dead. Gone, 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 gone. It is now all about collaboration. Like, this is the power of community. Seeing somebody else succeed. Like, oh my goodness. You know, we are told to be like, oh, Johnny Joe and Zayed So got this grade and did this and is in this company. And no, we shouldn't have to be comparing ourselves to other people anymore. Let's admire. Let's go, oh, well done, Zayed, for getting your A, and well done, Janie Mary, for becoming CEO. Well done, you, for following your dreams. Like, well done. Give these people admiration. But the need for comparison, no, because they're on their own path and they're living their lives in their own way, according to their own pace. And so are you. And what you might like and what you want to explore and what your self-care needs are might be different to all of them. So power to the perspective of collaboration and community, self-appreciation. Maria, I tell you, girl, I am blown up fire with moderating the comments. All I can see is just text flying. So Maria Kelly, thank you so much for that. Yeah, look, I have to value myself. Thank you, Aisha. Here's the thing. So many of us are running, so we have conscious and subconscious, okay? And that's not even a part of consciousness, and so many other elements. But let me stick with the subconscious. The subconscious is where our core beliefs are, okay? And those core beliefs are actually driving your conscious behavior. You don't need to understand that at all. I'm just sharing, just to kind of sow the seeds of awareness. But what we do need to understand with the core beliefs is most of our core beliefs, out into the universe. Most of our core beliefs are degrading. Most of our core beliefs are, I don't deserve to be loved, I'm unworthy, I'm useless, I'm worthless, and so on and so on and so on. Those are the actual core beliefs that so many of us are operating on. And that is the reason, the number one signal from my perspective, when somebody is not reaching their objectives, their dreams, when they are failing, when they are repeatedly trying, but they never actually succeed. This is why consciously I will say, right, I'm going to go on a diet. I am going to get healthy. I'm going to do it. So consciously, I'm pumped. However, subconsciously, if my core belief is I'm useless, eventually my conscious desire is going to be overwhelmed by my core belief, and then I'm going to give up eating healthily, and then I'm going to give up going to the gym because deep down I don't deserve it anyway, because I'm going to be lonely and fat and ugly all my life. Do you see where I'm going? The subconscious, the way it works, is millions times more stronger than the conscious. And that's why when we start to explore our self-care on a deeper level, we start to have these conversations with our truths. That's when we're actually tapping into those core beliefs that we need to remove and then replace with helpful, healthy core beliefs that are going to drive our beliefs, our feelings and our behavior to give us success in the aspects of life that are important to us. Okay, so I've got about 4 and 10 is 6 and 4 is 20 and 10 is 30. Right, I have about 16 minutes left. So I'm going to give some of the self-care stuff that I do. And maybe some of that might resonate with you. And again, please, in the comments, share what's working for you. There are so many people who are going to watch this video and they're going to look at all the comments. And again, your perspective, your beliefs, your techniques or strategies, a video you've watched, a book that you've read, any type of resource that you found helpful, please put it in the comments, because some random stranger is going to read those comments and maybe be inspired to follow your advice. And that is the power of community. We are all helping each other without even having to know each other. Amazing. Okay, so a couple of self-care items, and these items all actually target the psychological, emotional, spiritual and physical at the same time. So the first one is the Wim Hof breathing method. Wim, W-I-M, Hof, H-O-F. That breathing method is also called holotropic breathing or resonant breathing. And it's an excellent way to get the blood circulating and also reduce the mind chatter, because it's an intensive breath and you can't, there is no way thoughts can come in or out of your head when you are doing that technique. Wim Hof breathing technique, amazing. One of gratitude. Look, gratitude is so important, and so many people dismiss gratitude. Oh yeah, gratitude, whatever. No, it is not gratitude, whatever. Hello. We are all operating on cognitive errors, unhelpful thinking patterns. What does that mean? It means that our psychology has become a little bit distorted because of our unresolved healing, because of our wounds, our mother wound. Hello, how many of us still have a mother wound? Our social conditioning and so forth has accumulated into cognitive errors. And one of those cognitive errors is we continuously discount the positive and focus on the negative. We continuously discount the positive and focus on the negative. And when we do that, it distorts our entire reality and it disconnects us from one of the biggest gifts of being human, one of our biggest superpowers, and that is gratitude. Gratitude. How many of us are actually taking time during the day and going, oh my God, I'm alive. Oh my God, I just swallowed my own saliva and I didn't choke. My body is doing exactly what it needs to be doing. Oh my God, I can see, I can hear, I can touch, I can wave to people that I love. Social distancing, you know. When are we stopping to appreciate everything that we have? Because we're so good at recognizing I don't have this and complaining about this and complaining about that. Hello, bring this to your awareness. Gratitude. And a very easy way of doing gratitude is at nighttime or during the day. I tend to do it at nighttime. You write 10 things that you're grateful for. And this is the practice. You might do it mentally as well and just in your mind do 10 things. However, I feel that writing it brings it from the 3D, brings it from the imagination into the 3D realm and enforces the power of it. So pen and paper, 10 things. So let's all do this together just in your own mind. What are 10 things that you're grateful for right now? You don't have to type them, don't worry, okay? 10 things. 10 things. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. Can you speak slowly? I know, I'm sorry. I will do my best to slow it down. Thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. Hala, Dua, no, RG66, thank you so much for bringing it to my attention. Thank you. Okay, so 10 things that we're grateful for. To tap into what you have creates such incredible neurophysiology and chemistry and energy that it upgrades all the other types of universal human values that you want to be operating from. What are they? Compassion, forgiveness, adventure, connectedness, love, etc., etc. So to amplify those feelings, which is what we all want, you have to practice. And one of the practices is gratitude, because gratitude connects into all of them. Okay? So another way to do that, gratitude, is 21-day abundance challenge. Deepak Chopra does this incredible challenge. It's free. You can put it on YouTube even, and that gives you the opportunity to practice gratitude for 21 days in a more structured, organized and controlled way, which is great if you don't trust your discipline right now. Also, you can also do a compliment file, okay? So this is where every day, why not? We're all in isolation. Every single day, you're going to pick up your phone and you're going to, or go on your social media, and you're going to send a compliment to somebody. And you're just going to go, yo, Mary, I was thinking of you today and I want to share, I really appreciate how you always are trying your best. Or I really appreciate that time 5 years ago you came around to my house with milk. Whatever it might be, a compliment. Like, imagine the effect that you can have on someone's day when out of nowhere their phone pings and it's you. You've just sent them just some love. And in that giving and receiving of energy, again, you're upgrading yourself. You're amplifying all the good stuff, all the good energy that you want to be doing. And I do that quite often, and I get such a sense of the feels, because this is the thing, you know, kindness. What is kindness? Kindness is giving without expecting anything in return. And this is where so many people fall with the kindness. There's kindness with a subconscious condition, or a kindness with an expectation. But what if we're just going to be kind because we want to, because we can, and we just fire off a message a day, a message every couple of days that's really authentic and pure, shamazing. I'm seeing a couple of affirmations there. Yeah. I am enough, sister, brother. I'm not sure, I can't see your picture. I am enough, amazing. All of these affirmations, all of these grounding statements, all of these mantras, it doesn't matter what language you use to describe them. They are all self-care. Remember, self-care is taking responsibility, okay? It's not that you have to do things on your own. That is a distortion, okay? What do I mean by that? I want to practice my self-care by getting help with my self-talk. So I have decided that the best way for me to do that is I'm going to reach out to a psychologist, or I'm going to reach out to a psychotherapist, or I'm going to reach out to a healer. I am going to reach out because I know for me to heal and grow and develop, I need to reach out to somebody who's got more knowledge than me, who can hold space for me.